on all schools. There is the situation that Pelham has with possibly losing Union 26 and all the support that they have there. And there is the issue of what's going to happen to Union 28 also. And so some of the situations that we have been looking at, as Cliff was saying, have to do with regionalization and unionization. And we looked at all the different options. One of the options was to totally regionalize K through 12 with Amherst. And we've talked about that issue in the past. At this point, we felt that that choice, that model, was going to negate so much of the different criteria that we had put up on the slide previously. The criteria of local control, quality education, all of the things that we really hold dear here in Shutesbury. And so that regional configuration was actually taken off of our table. At that point, then, we said, okay, we can't go it alone. We do need other communities. And we looked towards all the different patterns that were the other options that were available. One of them being, when we talk about the outer ring, I hope you don't mind me calling you the outer ring with us. We think of the schools, the issue, one of the issues that we see is that Amherst has a large school population and many more kids and much more money in their school system. And they feel like they should have most of the control of whatever configuration they have, which, you know, if you were sitting in Amherst and on one of their boards, you would agree with them. I mean, why should there be, you know, inequality here? Because we have more students, we pay more bills, we should be the ones. Well, one of the thoughts that we had was, okay, we like the region for the 7 through 12 right now. We're secondary ed, we like that region, that works for us. What can we do differently, or what can we do otherwise with K through 6, or maybe K through 8? We haven't gotten to that decision yet. And so we thought, well, maybe unionize Amherst, Pelham, Shutesbury, and Leverett. Well, we read the papers, and we know that if Amherst is talking about not wanting to stay in the union with Pelham, they're obviously not going to want to join a union where they are equal partners at the table to 3 towns. That's not going to work. So we took that union configuration off the table. So right now that leaves us with a few configurations that we're talking about. One of them is to stay exactly as we are in Union 28, K through 6, to create a Union 28 agreement. No such agreement exists. There is no union agreement. There is history, there's a pattern, there's a commitment, but no agreement. So one of our choices would be to keep Union 28 and to create an agreement. Another choice would be to have a union that either was Union 28 with Pelham joining us, or be a union that's the outer ring. That has a lot of benefits to it. The other choice was in regionalization. Regionalizing either K through 6 or K through 8. As I say, we haven't figured out where the 7th and 8th graders are best suited. But to have that a region that would be a Pelham, Shutesbury, Leverett, K through 6 or 8 region. The benefit to that one was, with regionalization, We have satisfied the state that we are in a region, we're not in a union. We have a lot of local control because even though it would have only one school committee, it would be a school committee of like-minded towns and like-sized towns. We would have the benefit of regional transportation, busing, so we wouldn't have to pay separate. We would get funded from the state, reimbursements. So that one looks really nice to us. So now we have these options. Regionalize with the outer towns, unionize with the outer towns, or stay in the union that we have right now. We're working with these, and as I said, 6th grade, 8th grade, we're not sure yet. We're pretty sure that we don't want to send our 6th graders down to Amherst, to the secondary schools, although there is a push for that. So right now we're at the point where we're talking to people. We're bringing people like Ron in. We're going to have meetings with our elementary school principal, with our middle school and high school principal, and with the 2 superintendents, the Amherst superintendent, the region, and the Union 28 superintendent. We're also going to talk to people who have created alternative schools, because we like some of the models that they're created. We don't like the idea of having a charter school, but we like some of the components of the charter schools. So we're going to be talking to them. So right now we're talking to a lot of people, but the real people that we need to talk to are the Shutesbury residents, because a lot of the choice of what we're going to do is dependent on you and everyone who's here. Our aim and our real goal is to have something, some document or some presentation ready for town meeting in May. We're not going to be able to say we're going to do something, we're going to have a document in May and then move to a different configuration in September. That would be totally out of the range of what we could do. But we want to have some decision and choices, just as Pelham has said they want to get somewhere by May, because we know the clock is ticking with respect to the state. If the state gets involved, they are going to want to regionalize us, basically put you in your region with the 712 that you have, and that's the end of it, and they can force us to do that. Hopefully, because we are proactive and we are working through this process, even if they come in early spring, knocking on our door saying this, they'll give us time to complete our process and to go through this process, this organic process, together and wait for our decision. That's where we are at this point. Other community, just to open the discussion to talk about what you saw, what you think, and what you know.